What is AI changing in this product development cycle? So there's a step function change in cost and time to build things. Your product is not the model. Your product is a lot of other things other than the model. Software engineers are becoming and working very closely with the customers and actually directly talking to customers. And product engineers have a root access to customers and they are much more capable of building the next right product. A lot of these people are trying to do the job of a product manager, but none of them is actually getting responsible for bringing the business outcome. Let me get started. Can you see my screen? So today is mostly an ecosystem or understanding session. We divide these sessions into many sessions, like sometimes we go into technical depths. We're going to talk a lot about ecosystem, a lot of unbaked ideas or baked ideas. I have done some research and found some patterns and obviously a lot of my experience working in the field and trying to bring to you this agenda. So the agenda is pretty straightforward. A lot to cover, of course. We'll understand current roles and responsibilities. This will go quickly. What product manager does, what design does, what software engineer do. We'll see how AI is impacting product development or building new things. So this is beyond like what AI PMs do. This is just AI impact on building things. And then we will see how AI product with AI, how their needs are different. Then we'll see how this is causing the disruption in the current team structures. We will see a few new emerging roles like forward deployed experts, forward deployed engineers, backward deployed experts. Then we'll see what does it mean for you as product managers or people who are trying to build things. Okay, who I am. If you're here for the first time, I'm Mahesh. I have worked for almost all the Manc companies except Netflix and Apple. Both of them I never wanted to work for, so that's the reason. But worked for Google, AWS, Meta, and Microsoft. I've been AI for 10 years, actually building things for the last 20 years, 15 years as a software developer, five years as a product manager. Mostly worked in AI for the last 10 years, and I've taught this course for 3 years. Okay, let's get started. How the current teams are structured. Very simple. The product manager comes and says what to do, what should we build, also tells us for whom we are building, and they focus on three things. They create market opportunity or find that opportunity, user needs, and are responsible for business outcome. If they don't, then okay, we got the requirements. Then the designer comes and says, how should it look and feel? And how should user interact with it? You also give a lot of user guides and flows, but they decide how the look and feel and how the consumer will consume this product with least friction. User experience, usability, they will talk to customers, they will make sure that there is a need and all, they can do research, accessibility. And then you have your software or engineering managers. They will decide how we will build this, with whom we will collaborate, and when can we actually ship. You want to ship yesterday, your CEO wants to ship day before yesterday, but these are the people who will say we will ship in 6 months and nobody will question them. Good. This is how we are building products today. I think if you're not building this way, hopefully you can start building this way. Okay, then what is AI changing in this product development cycle? There is a step function change in the cost and time to build. Example, Cursor, Lovable. These are the tools that people are using to build. And a lot of people, there are 38 million developers. And the gut feeling is like right now we have 3 billion Facebook users. Similarly, we will have at least 1 billion developers. Why? Because the cost and time to build has reduced. Can I give you an example? Okay, let me give you an example. So we live in a base here. I live in Mountain View, by the way. Now you will know my address too. I live on a base. It's a NASA base. And our community is so cool that they give lawn mowers as a centralized thing. You can rent lawn mowers, mow your lawn and give it back. The problem is that people take the lawn mowers and never return them. So people who are relying on the central system are not getting enough lawn mowers. So my son came up with this idea, not me, because I was just taking him to the checking, and it was always they said red and lawn mowers are not available. So he went to Lovable. He talked to the machine. Don't look at the right yet, but I will tell you the journey. He just typed it. By the way, he's 8-year-old. Just giving you a perspective of an 8-year-old building things. So he came in and he said, you know what? I can tell what needs to happen. Step one, people open the, you look at his step one. People open the website and see if lawnmowers are available. They register their name, phone number. They get reminder, call in 2 days. They do this. And they got a website. And then he said, no, 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 no. I want more. Call the company name Westcourt Lawnmower, not Green Care. It said Green Care. He just sent another prompt. And then he just pasted their logo. So this logo came here and he went on. And now he has a full blown website in 5 prompts. Here are lawn mowers. You can check them out. You can see the wait list. And he also put access code because he wanted only the admins there to check it. So that's what I mean when I say the cost. By the way, I did have another cool thing. I just checked security because we are doing some SOC 2. And I did the last prompt where I said, hey, check for security. And it found all the security gaps. Generally, this takes like a software 30, 45 minutes, and you need to give them $1,000. But once this website was ready, I did all the it did all the security scans on all the components, and then it found out what was the challenges. So it said, this is what you're using, these 4 tools, these three tools, gave me what are the security issues, and then it's ready to fix them too, implement these security fixes. So hopefully it will be a cool production ready site with all the security clauses closed, which could have taken a developer or this project 3 to 6 months if Westcourt Village wanted to do it. But because we did it and he did it in 3 days, and just like before his mother tells him to sleep, he gets 15 minutes to code, and that's pretty much all he has. And he's able to pull this off. That's what exactly I mean when I'm saying, when I'm talking about this slide. And so there's a step function change in cost and time to build things. I just gave you an example of Lovable. We are using Cursor at the company that I'm building, and you're seeing a lot of changes on how our developers are producing code. And if you are not using any IDE, by the way, AWS released another IDE yesterday, which they claim to be better than Cursor. So we should try that. But the idea is that you can build code faster. Agents, AI agents are automating, augmenting, and expanding. So they are taking on tasks, they are making tasks easier to do, and they are helping you imagine new scenarios. That's happening. If you have not seen it happen, you saw what we were able to imagine and do, which was not possible before. And there are a lot of AI agents which are working behind the scenes to automate fully automated things. This means that the entire roles or projects are going to go away. So that's also happening because of AI. And there's a new thing called evaluations. So product now level 3 real-time evaluation. What we mean by that is that you are not just, you created the requirements, you tested it, you gave it to your, you created Facebook and everybody can talk to everybody. That's now how AI is based products or the new products are getting built. There has to be a continuous feedback with real users. When ChatGPT or OpenAI built their video model, they didn't just release it, they built it in 3 months and then they spent 9 months working with producers, movie makers to make it actually useful. And that's the new trend. So these are the new things that are changing in AI development. What does it mean actually? So what does it mean for you as product managers or building products in AI is you need AI first UX, which is non-linear. What I mean by that is that this UX that you create has to have user feedback. You have to show how you came up with your work because it cannot be a black box. Because that is what it will take for you to build trust with your users. So the UX needs to evolve or change a lot. Your product is not the model. Your product is a lot of other things other than the model. Can somebody give me a clue of what these other things are? We talked about them last time and
The
then delay
tools, the
everything by 5 minutes.
integrations, the context.
Tools, tools.
Knowledge
Rajit, go
base.
ahead. Tools,
The
knowledge
tools, the
bases. So
integrations, the context.
how the world, how the world works. Current state of the world, how the world works is your knowledge. Current state of the world is your signals, and then
Memory.
Uh,
memory is how what we did so far. Very good. And one more
yeah.
thing. Okay, I know how the world works. I know the current state of the world. Do I need tools?
Action.
I need actions,
Instructions.
tools. Pranav, good job. Good job, Pranav. Tools. Then I need tools to change the state of the world. And then I have guardrails, and behind the scenes, I have memory and orchestration. All these needs to come together to build a product. It's not just the model that builds the product. It's all these things that come together. And that's the new solution or system architecture. And you need to understand that. If you don't understand that, you may not be able to build it. And the new infrastructure has evaluations in the core piece of it, which is you have somehow you can measure what is the quality of your product by evaluating it and tangibly defining where you stand today, which requires human in loop, which require automatic validators, which requires A/B test across your different models or different product or different prompts. And all this needs to be done building a product. There is a new role called forward deployed engineers. These are the engineers which are working hand in hand with customers, because we are going after customers and they have a bespoke scenarios, and they're directly working with customers, listening to their needs, modifying things, going back in 24 to 48 hours and saying, here is a new idea. Okay, you talked about this works. So if they do that, then do you need to do this whole study and find out what the new features look like? So they are entering your territory and they are finding out what the next feature is and actually iterating with customers to build it. And then you have designers, which are using no code tools to publish complete front ends. So designer in our company, he was just designing and we have shot on front end. So he said one day that, you know what, I'm going to use this thing called Framer and actually build this whole website and publish it. It's a stunning website. He actually wrote not only the Figma frames, but the whole website. He also connected it with the backend and databases, and he published it. And this designer has not done a CS degree, never coded before, and he's able to do that. So that's happening. Product managers are building prototypes. Software engineers are becoming and working very closely with the customers and actually directly talking to customers and evaluating their products and then coming up with fast iterations. And designers are actually able to build front ends. Okay, if that's happening, then what's the structure of the new teams look like, or what are the new roles out there and what these are? Let's quickly look at them. So new roles and expectations. These are the new roles. If you don't have them, if you're a leader and setting an AI team, you should think about restructuring your team around these roles. You will need these roles. And I'm not talking product managers. We'll talk about product manager later, but these are the new roles in AI. The first is forward deployed engineers. These are product engineers. You have seen their title as product engineers or forward deployed engineers, or in older world, you would call them solution architects, especially if you're working in cloud. These are embedded with users. They observe, manage, and prototype quickly. And they are defining what to build next, working backward with PMs or directly with engineers. When I was working at AWS, most of our PRDs, which is product requirement documents, are written by our solution architects because they have much more visibility on what next feature. I was only called to build a next product. Like, should we build agents or should we go with only models? Those are the calls I made. But once I launched an agent, the new features in that agent were actually built by forward deployed engineers. These product engineers have a root access to customers and they are much more capable of building the next right product for the customers. So that's the one role. Another is this idea of an orchestrator engineer. This is called an AI architect also. This is also known as general architect, which are upgrading, or in some companies, the engineering manager is doing this job. Their job is to bring what tools are needed, the context engineering, which we talked about. Where are we going to get the signals from? What knowledge we will need? What tools we will need? And can we do it with the latency, fallback, and what we need to cache or store in our memory? What we need not to store in our memory? What we will retrieve and from where? They define that. So that's the orchestration or the engineer roles. And they will be in your interview panel, by the way. If you are interviewing for AIPM roles, all these four people in some way or shape, you will see them there. The next is the domain experts. This is completely new role because you are building and going towards the vertical, like law, medical, insurance. chemical engineering, these are the experts which know what good looks like in their field. They know what a good answer is to a question. They know what is bad, what are the guardrails, what we should not be doing, what is the compliance requirement in their jobs. And if you're going to place AI agents and replace or augment them to do jobs, these are the people who will give you your evaluation requirements. They are going to define what is helpful, what is honest, what is harmless in their own domains. So these are backward deployed experts. That's how I call them. And this is a hybrid role. They also write prompts, by the way. They have skilled themselves to write prompts. So they don't only give you requirements, they also edit prompts to improve accuracy and meet the requirements. So you have forward deployed engineer, backward deployed experts, and you needed somebody in orchestration in the beginning. And then this is your designer role, but it is evolving into this model experience designer. What they are doing, they are designing how are you bringing certainty into AI uncertainty. AI is not certain, it changes behaviors, it doesn't explain how it got here, and the user need a lot of trust before they can actually start using your agents. And these designers are focused on those aspects. They are looking for you to have similar skills. So these are the 4 areas I want you to think when you are getting into AI or trying to get into AI. And these are the roles that you will be interacting with. And if your company doesn't have it, you will be required to take on these roles. Maybe you are required to design this experience, which is user first. And maybe you are the one who is doing this forward deployment engineering. So be ready for these roles, or at least understand what it takes. Like in the past day, when we launched teams, if you had data science expertise, you were really good at training PM because there was a huge overlap. Similarly, you need to find overlaps with these fields to succeed in AI. Okay. If that's the case, then what your role look like? Your role looks like you will be working with designers to build trust in your product. And on the right hand side, you will be working with forward deployed engineers to actually take a pulse of real customers. Is it resonating? And then iterating fast. That's your first layer. In the second layer, you will be working on building a scalable system. So working with these orchestration engineers to make sure that your system is able to scale. And you will have an in-depth understanding of this system. What are the sub-agents? What is the memory? What are the functions? Where we are accessing knowledge? Where are we taking signals? What signals can enhance? You need to know that kind of system level understanding. And the last is you will be working with these experts. You may not become a doctor or a lawyer, but you will be able to take their understanding, their evaluation, and set it up for your agents and create backward looking roadmaps on quality hill climbing so that your quality is getting better week on week so that you can ship like ChatGPT, VO, and agents are getting shipped today. They are not shipped in one day, they are shipped week on week, iterating, working with these backward deployed experts. But this whole system can maybe exist without you if you don't learn it. And again, your focus will be market opportunities, user needs, and you will be responsible for business outcomes. What I am seeing is a lot of these people are trying to do the job of a product manager, but none of them is actually getting responsible for bringing the business outcome. So if you can hold on to business outcome and defining what the market opportunities are, I think you will thrive or even grow 2x to 3x in your career in next 2 years if you are able to understand this and deploy these. Okay, if that's the opportunity in front of us, what that looks like, what does this actually mean? So what are you doing day to day? You have two functions, your front end and the back end as the AI product managers, and these are the skills. You need to understand agent behaviors in field, not in your lab, not in your evaluation. You need to work directly with your customers or your forward deployed engineers to see how your agent worked today, what questions it answered, what jobs it did, what jobs it didn't do, how much it costed doing per job. That's a deep understanding you need to build. You need to design fallbacks for edge cases. You need to know every day you will be evolving a harmful case, an edge case, a new way your customer interpret your results, a new way your customers goes away, you need to design for those, working with your designers, or you will design. You need to define success metrics. And this is not just adoption. This is people have most of the customers that are using your product. You need to see how much value are they able to take from your agents, how many workflow they completed. If they did started a workflow and if it didn't complete, which agents failed them and are they coming back? And you need to design for trust, explainability, and reversibility. And the most important is that what you, because you're just on the spearhead of this new way of giving value to customers. SaaS was clear. Before that, operating system were cool, but AI agents, you're the first one, and you need to build that trust with the user. Users are hesitated. They're not trusting AI, and you need to build that working with those functions which we just talked about. In backend, you're working with the developer, these backward deployed experts, and creating evaluations. If you have never created an evaluation for a legal agent or a healthcare agent or an insurance agent, please do so. And you will learn a lot. We have spoken how to set these evaluations using different frameworks, also different logging, also different component specific evaluation. Please watch those videos on YouTube and make sure you have set up these evaluations. You need to align the stakeholders because we don't have this system which you build and then it works. It doesn't work. The accuracy is bad. The helpfulness scores are lower and it will be harmful for some users. You need to set those expectations with your operations, your legal ops folks, and your executives so that when things go wrong, nobody's saying that, hey, shut it down. You have brought that clarity that things will fail. We are not perfect, and that's why we are launching to 2%. Like ChatGPT, yesterday, OpenAI released agents where they combined their orchestration with computer use. And they said that, yeah, it is not going to work. We tested it. It's 7 cases, it fails. But please go ahead and try it anyways. That's what we need to do, or you need to do. And then last is you need to define what are the golden sets look like, what are the adversarial cases, and what is test and logging on these. If you have done all that, you are a super cool PM. So what skills you need? Two main skills, two main blocks of skills you need. One is an awesome AI taste, and one is AI attention to detail. Okay, what does that mean? You need to understand responsible AI requirements. What does trust entails in your AI agent? What is explainability? What is reversibility? If you have got these, you got the first taste. Second is you should be able to, you need to have technical skills. I know people must be telling you you don't need technical skills. I believe you can't build these systems without understanding what's under the hood. You need to understand edge cases. Without understanding how your system is designed, you can't come up with those edge cases. You need to design the system with explainability and UX that has fallbacks for your user. And if you don't understand technical chops, you can't do that. If you have great taste, then I need you to have attention to details. What does that mean? You should be able to vibe code things, understand your code structure, and make small changes in your code. I know it may be overwhelming and maybe you don't want to do it, but if you can't do it, Abhishek, I don't know, he's here today. He posted on LinkedIn that Google PM interview level 6, I believe. They just asked the PM to vibe code their idea. So they did the whole case study. And after that, they said, can you vibe code and build it? And he tried and he failed. This was a Reddit post. Abhishek pasted. Abhishek is in our community. And that's becoming a table stakes for AI PMs. If you're going for AI roles, you should be able to build these things. And even without AI, you should be able to know no code tools to build a simple prototype, like I showed the lawn mowers of the world. You need to have system thinking. You should be able to understand what are the knowledge, what are the tools, what are the guardrails in your AI agents, or if you're building for AI, what those look like and how they are designed in the past systems you worked on. Or if you propose me a new system, I want to hear that from you, that what's the architecture looks like. And domain expertise. If you're saying I build an agent for legal, I have a lot of questions for you, how you did this, how you did that. If you don't have it, If you never worked with backward deployed experts and build that muscle, you're never going to ship an agent which people will love. So that's another thing that you need to do. And then I want to know, I see that you have the expertise, then I want to hear how you set up these evaluations, how you make them objective so that engineering can get a very simple target to go from X to Y, which correlates to better user outcomes and more money for the company. You need to complete that loop, which is I have the domain expertise, I can define what is helpful, I can set the engineering roadmap to go from X to Y, where I can also propose some of the system things. We have a course that can help you, but obviously there is a lot you need to do. We are redefining that course so people who have done the course can see a new version of it. In the first week, we improve your taste by showing you how to define AI problems, solution, and measurements. We give you attention to detail by giving you ecosystem understanding of how agentic system work. We help you build a first agent using V0 Dev and backend Langflow. Both are no-code tools, and you can actually build an agent by end of week 1 and week 2. Then we go and show you how can you narrow the scope, how can you actually create a roadmap for an AI product, which you can iterate continuously. We give you knowledge around neural networks, context engineering, and we help you update your agent with actual knowledge that you can attach to it, which is signals as well as database access. Then we help you take it multi-agent and also help you set up evaluations, metrics, different frameworks, actual real evaluation with an example of a project. And in your project, you go from single agent to multi-agent here. And the last one is we show you how can you actually use this to make money and add fine-tuning capabilities to your agents. Finally, you ship your agent that has context, evaluation, and feedback loops to the world. We don't stop there. We spend another 3 weeks with you to help you prepare for interviews. This is a code that you can use to get these free sessions on Fridays. We show up every Friday to help you continuously learn these new things. Whatever you saw was not taught in our course. I just built it in last week. So you continuously learn because AI is not one thing done thing. It's basically evolving. These roles and how to set up these things will evolve as we evolve. And that's what you get here. Thanks a lot. You all are awesome. With that said, I will see you again. Bye. Take care.